Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is quite a few topics to delve into. I am going to be giving you the latest news of what Fred has come out and said regarding Paul Pogba. Then I'm going to be giving you the latest news on Timo Werner from RP Leipzig. I've been talking with you about him on a regular basis and there's quite a few other things to talk about. But I'm going to start with the news on Fred. So Fred recently was speaking to Brazilian TV, and he actually has begged Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. Now Fred has been talking a lot about Paul Pogba recently, saying that he's got immense quality, he's a very, very good player for the Premier League and that. And Fred is aware that Paul Pogba does offer a lot. So Fred, does want Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. Now, obviously, Fred as well, he hasn't only been talking about Paul Pogba in the last couple of days. Don't forget, like he updated you a couple of days ago, Fred has given his wishes for the summer transfer window, and he actually, advised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to recommend, Brazilian players in. Because, we haven't really got a long history of Brazilian players, let's be honest. I think Fred is actually 7th player to represent Manchester United, of course. Obviously, we've only got 2 Brazilian players in our squad at the moment, and that's Fred himself and Andres Pereira. I think, the other Brazilian players we've had before is Klebertson, Anderson, Fabio da Silva, Rafael da Silva and that. So, there you go. So Fred does want Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United. He really, really does. The positive is regarding Paul Pogba, he's now recovered from his ankle injury, so that's very, very good news. But my overarching view on Fred, I think he's been exceptional for Manchester United this season. Obviously, we did get Fred in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, was it, at the football club. We did pay around £52 million for Fred, so he is on that list as one of our most expensive signings. Fred never really got his opportunities under the Jose Mourinho era, but this season he's been given his opportunities and he has done very, very well. Also, I've got to make an admission, Fred was exceptional in Ukraine and that, and I think definitely Fred is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. I really, really do. And that. So this is what Fred has come out and said regarding Paul Pogba. Obviously United fans have got different perceptions on Paul Pogba. Some United fans would like to see him leave, and some United fans would like to see him go. Now there's still uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at the football club. There's a lot of uncertainty over his future. Now, I think, me personally speaking, I think Paul Pogba is going to stay at Manchester United next season. I don't know about the foreseeable future, but I think he will be here next season. Now, it came out from the Busby Bade report last week saying that Paul Pogba does want to stay at Manchester United, and it hasn't really mentioned in recent weeks about Paul Pogba wanting to stay at the football club. Obviously, Solskjaer did come out and say that he wants Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United because he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Paul Pogba's not yet had the chance to play alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, and I do believe, they will complement each other fantastically well. Now, like I've said to you, I can't have a perception on Pogba this season because he's seldom played. He's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The last time Paul Pogba played was on Boxing Day in our 4-1 win against Newcastle. And the last time he started from the start was back in September. But analysing it, Paul Pogba sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Now, obviously, El Equipe, which is a French outlet, they said recently that Juventus are close to re-signing Paul Pogba. Don't forget, it confirmed the other week that Juventus became the first Italian club to have their own cap salary, and it said Juventus are only willing to offer contracts in the region of £150,000 a week. And it's actually confirmed that Juventus are not willing to pay the £100 million that we would want if we was to sell him. Of course, his wages are a stumbling block as well for Juventus and also to Real Madrid. Let's put them into the equation as well, because Paul Pogba is on £300,000 a week at Manchester United. And, Pogba's got, a year left on his No. Paul Pogba's got a year left on his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year and that. So there you go. Don't forget, it did say that Juventus are willing to offer Adrian Rabiot as part of the deal of getting Paul Pogba. Like I said, I'm very, very sceptical that Manchester United will accept this offer. I think also too Aaron Ramsey's been mentioned, and there's quite a few other players, that Juventus have offered us as well. Now, there's been a lot of speculation going on regarding Adrian Rabiot recently. Obviously, Newcastle have recently been in for him. He did recently reveal that he does want to make a move to Everton. Arsenal have also been in for Adrian Rabiot. I think we scouted him quite a few times this season, but his appearances have been limited at Juventus. There was reports coming out last week allegedly saying that Adrian Rabiot told Juventus he was going on strike and he was refusing to return back to training and that. But this has only been Adrian Rabiot's first season with Juventus. Obviously, Juventus did get him last summer from PSG on a free transfer. Juventus have got quite a few players in on free transfers in recent years and obviously brought a few players in as well. Obviously they got De Ligt from Ajax last summer. They got Cristiano Ronaldo in the summer of 2018. So there you go and that. Adrian Rabiot's got a contract with Juventus until 2023 because when he signed for them, he did sign a 4-year contract. Adrian Rabiot is predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. PSG, he was very, very good, Adrian Rabiot. He was at PSG for several years. He did spend the vast majority of his career with PSG. He broke into their senior squad in 2012 and obviously, won a total of 18 major honours with Paris Saint-Germain. Disregarding Adrian Rabiot being part of any swap deal, he'd be a cheap solution. You'd probably get him for around 25 or 26 million pounds. But I think it's confirmed that he has held some negotiations with Carlo Ancelotti. Maybe some Manchester United fans would take Aaron Ramsey at the football club. Reflects on the good pedigree that he's got in the Premier League because don't forget Aaron Ramsey did endure 11 years with Arsenal. Very long-serving player for Arsenal. Obviously, Juventus got him on a free transfer last summer. Ramsey signed a contract with Juventus till 2023. We went in for Aaron Ramsey back in 2008 under Ferguson, and this was before he went to Arsenal and that. And Aaron Ramsey's versatility is very, very good. You can put him on the left, you can put him on the right, but he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, and I think he's in his late 20s. Milan Pjanic wouldn't fancy him coming to Man United. Douglas Costa, maybe some United fans are keen on him. But so they're willing to include players of Juventus so they don't have to pay £100 million for Pogba. Confirmed the other week, I think it was as well, saying that Ed Woodward had lowered Paul Pogba's asking price from £150 million to £100 million. They'd say, if we was to sell Pogba this summer anyway, we could only get around 60 or 70 million pounds for him. We did pay 89 million pounds in from Juventus back in 2016. So as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing. There's reports still coming out saying that, Paul Pogba is part of Zinedine Zidane's plans and Real Madrid do want to sign him. Did confirm the other week, and this was stemming from Marca, which is a Spanish newspaper, and they said Real Madrid are no longer interested in Pogba due to the wages. Don't forget last summer, Pogba was relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid, but the main explanation why his move to Madrid didn't materialise was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we said wanted £180 million, so he was demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus. But last summer, Pogba's preference was a move to Real Madrid. Real Madrid did recruit quite a few players in last summer. They got Jovic, they got Eder Militao, they got Eden Hazard, they got Rodrigo, Ferland Mendy and that. So they did recruit quite a few players in. Real Madrid have got, other players on their agenda as well as Pogba. They've been interested in Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes. They've also, it said the other week they was interested in N'Golo Kante from Chelsea. Also don't forget Mbappe and Erling Haaland are also on their agenda. But Real Madrid are also looking to offload players. They want to get rid of Bale. Karim Benzema's coming to the end of his career. They also not satisfied with Luka Jovic. I think they want to get rid of James Rodriguez as well. They're looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. So there you go. But But like I said, if Paul Pogba leaves Manchester United, I think he will make a return back to Juventus, because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but since he rejoined us in 2016, the vast majority of his performances have been totally comparison. In recent weeks as well, PSG and Inter Milan have been in for Pogba. For PSG to get Pogba in a straight cash deal, they'd have to either offload Mbappe or Neymar. Mbappe and Neymar are the 2 most expensive players in the world. So there you go. Inter Milan, I said I don't think he'll go to Inter Milan. Obviously, Antonio Conte may be keen on reuniting with the player. Inter Milan have already recruited 3 of our players already. They got Young, Lukaku and Sanchez offers. They've got Mario Cardi out on loan with PSG. They've got Perisic out on loan at Bayern Munich. And I think they are looking to get rid of them on permanent transfers at Inter Milan. And Barcelona have been in for Pogba before. I think the best we saw of Paul Pogba was in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Paul Pogba's won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Of course, that was under Jose Mourinho. Pogba enjoyed a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but you could arguably say we made a mistake getting rid of Pogba when he was younger, because we had him under the Alex Ferguson era, Paul Pogba. But you had to let him go on a free transfer. Main explanation is because his appearances were limited at the football club. And I've also got to say as well, since he rejoined, Pogba's received a hell of a lot of criticism, reflects on his performances. And I've got to say, it's Graham Souness and Roy Keane that have been Paul Pogba's biggest critics in that. And Paul Pogba's been advised by Rio Ferdinand, to leave the football club. But, I think he's staying at Manchester United. I really, really do. I think he's staying. He's 26, 27 years of age. So there you go and that. So that is the latest news on all of that. But there has been a few players on our agenda who could replace Paul Pogba at the football club if he does decide to leave. Obviously, the news on Saul Niguez. There has been positivity coming out regarding Saul Niguez recently. These reports were stemming from Spain. Whether it's true or not, I do not know. But they said that, Manchester United are close to signing Saul Niguez. We're close to signing Saul Niguez, and allegedly a fee's been agreed of around £70 million. Obviously, that figure is around half of Saul Niguez's release clause, because Saul Niguez's release clause is in the £130 million range. I think it's around 130, 132 million, something like that. But obviously, for one, no one's going to trigger his release clause anyway. And for 2, obviously, the financial issues. Atletico Madrid are not going to be able to get his release clause triggered. So, we can get him for half of the price. I think Saul Niguez will be a good adequate replacement for him. Saul Niguez is under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. Still got a good 5 years or so on his contract left. Back in 2017, Saul Niguez signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid, don't forget. I think it mentioned we've scouted him quite a few times, Saul Niguez. I think we scouted him in Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool in the Champions League. But Saul Niguez has remained loyal to Atletico Madrid for several years. I think this has been his 12th season with Atletico Madrid. I think he's made a good 300 odd appearances in all competitions. Can play as a holding midfielder and a central midfielder. When he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half, and Saul Niguez is in his mid-20s and that. So reportedly, we are close to signing him. I think Manchester City have also been keen on him. I think it revealed last October that, Barcelona had agreed a £15 million deal with Atletico Madrid for Saul Niguez. But reportedly, Barcelona decided not to take that first option for him. So, the move obviously didn't materialise in that. So, there you go. Obviously, on my other videos that I've done today, I give you the news on Corentin Tolisso from Bayern Munich. He's been another player on our agenda who could replace Paul Pogba at the football club. Don't forget we went in for Tolisso in January. We put a loan offer in for him, but Bayern Munich had turned this down. But recent reports have said, this is stemming from the Express, that we are preparing to put a fresh bid in for Tolisso. We're planning to put a fresh bid in for him, but we have expressed our interest in the player. Obviously, he's been at Bayern Munich for quite a few years now. If I'm correct, this has been his 3rd season with Bayern Munich. Obviously, when Bayern Munich signed him, he signed a 5-year contract. So he's got a contract with Bayern Munich till 2022. Obviously, Munich did pay £37 million for him. So as it stands now, he's Bayern Munich's second most expensive signing in their history. But I think at the time they did sign him, it was actually Bayern Munich's most expensive signing. My element of concern about Covington Talisio is that, he is injury prone, sustained quite a few injuries as a Bayern Munich player. He's injured at the moment. I think he's got a knee injury. He had a really, really bad injury in 2018, kept him out for almost 200 days. But yeah, and he was also very, very good during his time at Lyon. He did enjoy a good 4 years with Lyon, did the player. So there you go. So that is the latest news on all of that. Now, let's delve into news on Timo Werner from RP Leipzig and that. So, I'd say Timo Werner to Manchester United is still possible this summer. It's Possibiltiy, but I'm very, very sceptical, that we will sign Timo Werner. But, the question is, if he leaves RP Leipzig this summer, which club will he join? Now, obviously, Liverpool are emerged as the favourites to sign Timo Werner. Liverpool have been relentlessly linked with the player. Obviously, David Ornstein, who's a very credible journalist, like he updated you the other day, he came out and said that Timo Werner has held personal talks with Jurgen Klopp. Don't forget back in February, Timo Werner, described Jurgen Klopp as one of the best managers in the world. He also revealed as well, did David Ornstein, that, he'll only leave Leipzig, if he can go to Liverpool, or he said he'll maybe stay at Leipzig until next summer, then Liverpool will look to get him then. But he also said as well that, he's been talking with Man United as Werner recently. He's also been talking with Barcelona. And Timo Werner's agent, I think, has also been talking with Chelsea in that. So which club will he join? Bayern Munich are out of the equation because, as you all know, Timo Werner's already turned down a move to Bayern Munich. Timo Werner give the 4 main explanations why he wants to go to Liverpool. That's because of obviously Jurgen Klopp, the coaches, the teammates, and the environmental offer, and also to reflect on how dominant Liverpool have been throughout the course of this season. But I think for Liverpool to get Werner, obviously they'll have to sell either Salah, Firmino, or Mane, so Werner can get game time week in, week out. Liverpool have recruited quite a few players in from the Bundesliga in recent years. They got Matip from the Bundesliga. Matip, who else did they get from the Bundesliga? They got Matip, they got Takuma Mino as well. He came from the Bundesliga. They paid just over 7.25 million. Oh no, it was 7.25 million, sorry, that they did pay for Takuma Mino. Joe Matip, and didn't they get Firmino, if I'm right, from the Bundesliga as well. So they have recruited quite a few players in from the Bundesliga. Now, Timo Werner has got a release clause of £52 million in his RP Leipzig contract. 52 million. And also, too, they got Naby Keita in as well, don't forget, in Liverpool. But yeah, he's got a release clause of £52 million in his contract. He said the other week that Liverpool are planning to sign Timo Werner at the end of the season because they get him cheaper than £52 million, because it did say if RP Leipzig do not win the Bundesliga, then Timo Werner's release clause will drop. Now, Timo Werner is into his 4th season with RP Leipzig. This is his 4th season with them. I think he's scored a good 88 goals in 150 games, is it, in all competitions. Around 72 goals in the Bundesliga. He's still got a contract with Leipzig till 2023 as Timo Werner. Yes, he has. Obviously, Leipzig paid around, was it £10 million for him from Stuttgart back in 2016. Also a revelation at Stuttgart. But don't forget, Timo Werner became the youngest player to reach 200 Bundesliga appearances. Werner predominantly plays centrally, but you can also put him on the left and you can also put him on the right. So versatility, very, very good indeed. So his likely destination is Liverpool, but if he doesn't go to Liverpool, then there's a chance Manchester United could sign him. But he come out a couple of days ago saying that he's got no interest in coming to Man United or Chelsea. But, we shall see what happens. He's only, 23 or 24, so he's still very, very young, is Timo Werner and that. David Ornstein also suggested out, saying that, Liverpool may not make any signings in the summer because it confirmed a couple of weeks ago that Liverpool had actually put their summer spending on hold. So that is the latest news on Timo Werner. But Timo Werner's not only been the striker on our agenda. There's been a hell of a lot of strikers on our agenda. Obviously, Erling Haaland. I said to you, didn't I, on my recent video, I think we're going to be planning to sign Erling Haaland next summer instead of this summer. I don't think he'll leave this summer, Erling Haaland. I think he will remain with Borussia Dortmund for next season. Because let's put into the equation, Dortmund only signed Erling Haaland in the January transfer window. They paid £17 million for Haaland, so he was a cheap solution. He signed a contract with Dortmund until 2024, did Erling Haaland. Now, like I said, it was a real shame that we didn't get Erling Haaland in the January transfer window because, like I said, he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. Obviously, Solskjaer was keen on a reunion with the player. Obviously, Solskjaer's worked for him before during his time with Mould. Solskjaer was the one that gave Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 and that. So it was a shame that we didn't get him. But obviously, if we was to get him this summer, it cost us a substantial amount. We'd probably have to pay over £100 million to get him on the board because this is what Dortmund would want. But if we wait till next summer, we'll get him for £63 million. Because that's his release clause, and his release clause does become active next summer. Like I said, Real Madrid are also planning to sign him next summer as well. I think it also mentions that Liverpool are in for, Erling Haaland. But he's been a revelation at Dortmund. 13 goals in 12 games, is it something like that? Over 40 goals, this season, including the goals that I'd scored during his time with Red Bull Salzburg. So there you go. So he's been another strike on our agenda. The news on Moussa Dembele. He's been another strike on our agenda. Reports have been coming out recently saying that we've agreed a fee in the region of £62 million with Lyon for Moussa Dembele. Harry Kane, he's out of the equation like I've mentioned. He's out of the equation. You already know the news on Raul Jimenez from Wolves. Again, very, very sceptical that Manchester United will sign Raul Jimenez. Duncan Castles has been talking about Raul Jimenez recently from the Times, and Duncan Castles tends to be reliable and stuff. So which striker, do you think Manchester United should sign? I'd take Werner if the opportunity was there because he's very, very versatile and, he's a cheap solution as well. Let's put that into the equation. But, yeah. So there you go. Like I said to you, it's going to be interesting to see how we approach the summer transfer window. Obviously, Solskjaer did come out a couple of weeks ago and he made a key transfer statement. And he did say, we will enjoy a much different transfer window, than the recent ones, to be quite honest with you. But, I think, like I've said on my recent videos, we can enjoy the perfect transfer window. And I think we can, get the players that we do want to recommend in. And we've already revealed our transfer plans for the summer. But the main explanation why I think, we can have a perfect transfer window is because, a lot of clubs are going to face an unprecedented summer transfer window. City, they're broken financial fair play rules, and plus they're banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons because of that. They have got a lot of money, but they can't overspend. Tottenham, Daniel Levy doesn't like to spend money. Arsenal, they've had wages cut from their players, some of their players, that is, I think. Chelsea don't know what they're going to be doing. Liverpool, like I said, they might not be making any signings in the summer. So we could benefit from this. We really, really could. And I think our top 6 rivals do fear our transfer strategy for the summer and that. Solskjaer's come out and said, he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings in the summer to become title contenders. This is what he believes, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. And obviously, a lot of people do like his transfer strategy as well because don't forget, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Manchester United like he did do last summer and that. But I think Solskjaer is trustworthy, to spend money. He's very, very trustworthy because, like I've said, we have improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. Really, really have. He's brought the players that I wanted to recommend in, and the 5 players that he has recommended in, have been very, very impressive. They really, really have. And Solskjaer has spent £220 million at the football club so far. And this summer, it will be his 4th transfer window as Man United, and Man United in his 2nd summer transfer window at the football club. Be interesting to see how we approach the summer. Obviously, Champions League foot qualification is obviously key, because obviously, if we can get qualification for the Champions League, we've got more chance of attracting players to the elite level. If we don't get Champions League, then maybe we won't get all the players that we do want in the summer transfer window and that. Like I said to you, the season's supposed to be resuming next month. I think it's resuming next month. Like I said, don't know what's happening with the European games. Hopefully the European games can get back underway, because, we have progressed to the last 8 of the Europa League, and the Europa League's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board under Solskjaer, because we haven't won anything yet in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. You've got the FA Cup, we're into the quarterfinals of that. I heard the other week, the FA Cup is going to be scrapped and stuff like that. So there you go on that. But like I said, it is a transition period, and, Solskjaer is hopeful that we can get through this transition period. It's been a transition period for quite a while. But Ed Woodward has said on numerous occasions this season that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. He said his job's safe. And he's said quite a few times as well, he's willing to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the summer transfer window. I think also too, the Glazers are also willing to back him in that. Don't get me wrong, I've already taken positive so far from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. I've taken positive, like he's promoted the youth very, very well. Obviously, we was in a good vein of form before the football season got suspended, because we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. Also, too, our record against the Big Six sides this season's been exceptional, because we've registered 17 points against the Big Six sides this season, so that's a positive you can take. But don't get me wrong, there's still things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to work on. Like I've said to you before, he needs to work out his best formation, because he's been changing formation persistently this season. I think Solskjaer also maybe needs to make a tactical change as well. That's another one. People have said, he does need to make a tactical change. Prime example, maybe put Paul Pogba in a different position. Wayne Rooney's come out and advised Solskjaer to change Pogba's position. Rooney has said that Paul Pogba should go in a similar role to, the one to Frank Lampard's role, when he was a player for Chelsea and that. So there you go. So maybe he does need to make a tactical change. And I think his approach to the games against lower opposition also need to improve as well. Need to improve as well. I just want to confirm with you guys as well that Manchester United have signed 6 academy players from Rashford and Lingard's former youth club, which is Fletcher Moss Rangers. So that has just recently been confirmed as well. We have got around 8 or 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, so that's something else we do need to resolve. But to be fair, a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended into the football club. Like I said, Solskjaer's planning to get rid of a good 5, 6, maybe even 7 players in the summer. I've already gone through with you, the players that I think are going to leave Manchester United. I think Jones is going to definitely go, because Jones can't even get into the team. I think definitely Gomez is going. He's going to be going next month, at the end of next month, when his current contract expires. So he's going to be going on the 3, because there's no signs whatsoever of Angel Gomez signing a new contract with Man United, and we've put forward quite a few contract offers for Angel Gomez. So I think he's going. Chelsea and Arsenal, Barcelona have been in for him. He's going. Smalling and Rojo, I think they'll go on permanent transfers as well. Sanchez is facing a dilemma at the moment, because Inter Milan don't want him permanently. We don't want him back at Man United, but we may have to take him back. We'll probably end up loaning Sanchez back out again, to be quite honest with you, because we won't be able to get rid of him permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. Like confirmed to you as well earlier on today, we're going to be loaning James Garner out and Dylan Levitt by the looks of things, that's because of the signing of Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, they're going to find game time very, very difficult. Delors could possibly leave the club as well because his appearances have been limited. I think we could also loan Tahith Chong out because his appearances have also been limited at the football club. As you all know, yesterday we was at Carrington. Our players were at Carrington for around 15 minutes before leaving, but it was actually today we were supposed to be resuming to training and that. So there you go. And like I said, we've got a fully fit squad now. Rashford, of course, back from his back injury, so when the season resumes, he'll be back, which is very, very good news. Obviously, Pogba's now stepped up his recovery from his ankle injury. We've had quite a lot of injuries this season, so reflect on that anyway. We've had to make a lot of rotation, so there you go. We are sitting fifth in the Premier League at the moment. We are just, 3 points behind Chelsea. So there you go. And that. Obviously, like I said to you, Solskjaer's still got 2 years, has he, left on his contract. And I said to you, I don't know if he's a foreseeable future for Man United. I really, really don't. But time will tell. Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho and that. And, like I said, we have been so inconsistent for the last 6 or 7 years. But, one of the main explanations is reflect on the mistakes Man United have made. There's players that we've got rid of who we shouldn't have got rid of, like Lukaku. We shouldn't have got rid of him. Shouldn't have got rid of Herrera. Obviously, Ferguson made a mistake by recommending David Moyes in. You can say we made a mistake giving Solskjaer the job permanently. But we give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager and stuff like that. So there you go and that. But time will tell with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was so close to getting sacked earlier on in the season, At that point, there was talks of Pochettino coming in. Went in for Pochettino before, Solskjaer came in as well. There was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. So there you go. Solskjaer was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance and that. So he's got that proven pedigree as a player. As a manager, inexperienced, but the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to be gaining more managerial experience. I think Solskjaer's managed a good 76 games now for Man United. Is that just in the Premier League or all competitions? Our last Premier League game was our 2-0 win against Manchester City, if you do remember rightly in that. But even though we've been so inconsistent for so long, we're still one of the biggest clubs in the world. Don't forget that. But we haven't dominated, English football since we had Sir Alex Ferguson. So there you go. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.